Hi, it's Katana's mom. This is another angle. That's like, I don't know, sort of a little hump of a mountain right there where you can go up on top. It's sort of steep. It's not bad to get up, but like, I don't know, for me, when you come down, it's, especially when it's gravelly like that, it's interesting. I'm more afraid of gravel than I am of like this right here is solid. And these, like, I'd rather climb up that stuff and climb down that doesn't have a lot of slippery graveliness. But that's just me. Airplane above us. So, but yeah, I just figured I'd walk over here. So, and I'm sorry, I'm a little fatigued. My hand is shaking. Hopefully that does not affect too much. The mountain man in the other videos that I put up, still a story I'm working on in a way to go with that. Many things have gone through my head, but I'm also thinking about time travel, and if it were possible, what would that affect, and how would that affect certain things? And I wonder, because I'm having weird experiences I have my whole life. That's part of the reason that I'm a spiritual person. I was raised religious. I was a minister through an organization, and that was fine. But I just have decided that it's better to be spiritual and to figure out your own stuff. And everybody's path is their own. Literally, like, there's no path to come here. Like, if you look, I don't know, there's the path going up there, and then there's a path right below. There's one that winds around that peak that's right in front of me that goes this way. They kind of converge down there. There's stuff that goes in the other direction. But yeah, I just was like, I want to sit down. Found a little spot right here and just kind of look around, take a breather, sweat a whole bunch, and think about things, but also share the things that I think. I've had some weird crap happen to me, like I said, my whole life, but like recently, the weirdest is, and that's so beautiful right there. Look how green. Green for here. So, yeah, kind of just contemplating if time travel were possible, what would that mean? How would that affect your life? Or what would be the ripple effects of changing things? There's been movies and stuff on that. It's pretty interesting to contemplate. But I have literally been experiencing like the repeating of certain things. And spiritual people that I know would be like, oh, well, you know, when you don't learn your lessons. It's like, well, or since it's specific things, 100% specific things, and other things have just moved forward. That's the part that's weird for me. It's like, wait a minute. People have come into my presence and been 100% saying and doing the exact same things, and I'm like, okay. And here's the thing that I have been thinking about in regard to that is that what if people who are psychic, and it's a theory that popped into my head because I have I've had psychic things, I've had spiritual things, I've had dead people talking to me. I used to give messages to people from their loved ones. So here's the thing that occurred to me. What if deja vu is not what we think it is? What if there's a way to manipulate time and be like the Men in Black? And this is where it's like, it starts to get weird sci-fi for me. But what if there's a way to, when you change things, like, you know, you're playing with the code in the Matrix, you know, what if there's a computer program? What if the Mandela effect is real? What if, like my brain does that a lot. But what if the things that people experience as psychic phenomena, depending on what it is, what realm it falls into, where it's like, I feel like I've been here before. I feel like I've done this before. I literally have experiences here in this lovely place on this part of the planet where I have absolutely had experiences, and it's not deja vu. Like, it feels like a computer program where I'm playing a video game, and here's these characters again, and here's these other characters again, and I'm like, what if that's deja vu? Or what if that's psychic phenomena of that, where you feel like you know what's going to happen or whatever. Some things there is a level of predictability, but what if that's what we're experiencing, where we're like, oh, we know what's going to happen. Well, maybe you know what's going to happen because there's some messing with the timeline. I wanted to verbalize that in a different way, and I'm trying to keep it PG. Timeline effery, I guess. What if there is a way to do that? And that's what some people are experiencing, where they know what's going to happen because they still have the memory of it, or maybe there's a residual memory of it. It's like, this seems familiar, maybe that's why. Wouldn't that be interesting if that were the case? Wouldn't that be interesting if there was a group of people that had some sort of technology? Maybe it's magic, maybe it's technology, maybe it's aliens. Who knows? Maybe it's the government experimenting with stuff. Who knows what it is? But what if that were a possibility? And what if that's the possibility and it's a reality, and that's what people are experiencing when they have that type of deja vu, where I feel like I've been here. Maybe you were here. Maybe it wasn't a prior lifetime. Maybe someone's messing with the timeline. And that's why certain people say and do certain things. I've literally had people, there are so many things that I wish I could articulate better. But I've literally had people where it's like they knew what was going to happen to and with me later on in life, and it was like they were rubbing it in my face. And it just, when I reflect back, it reeks of like time travel in a way. Like, how could you know that? And I've met people here that I knew once, that I remember that I knew them once, but it seems like they don't. Seems like, because, you know, maybe they do remember and they're just keeping that secret. But I've also met people that I knew once and met at different things, and they'll tell me their stories, and I'm like, wait, I remember this when I was a teenager, blah, 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 blah. But I don't say it out loud. But I go, wait, I know this. And they haven't aged a day, but I have. And so, and that's weird too. It's like, wait, is that time travel? Are they vampires? What's going on? It's so weird and twisty. And I wish I could articulate it better. But it's interesting to me because I have come across so many people in situations here in Arizona that are like that, and it's like, what is this? And there are other things, and like, I don't want to take 2 hours of your day to explain some of this weirdness, but it's just like, here's the theory. Here's a theory that popped into my head one day, and it wasn't recent, where it was like, I wonder if time travel was possible, and if people had the ability to do that, manipulate it however, like I said, magic, aliens, some sort of technology, math, science, I don't know. But what if that is possible, and then the people who have the remembrances are like, wait, I've done this before, have some sort of something different about them, and where everybody else, it's like Back to the Future, where Marty and the doc know what the future was supposed to be, and then they're trying to fix it or make it better. And in the one, I can't remember if it's the first or the second one, I think it's the second one, where they leave Marty's girlfriend on the front porch of her house, even though that's not where she's, like, that's not her house anymore in that timeline. And then they're like, well, when we fix it, she'll be where she's supposed to be, right? And they just kind of leave her there. It's like, hope for the best. But then they're like, oh, she won't have any memory. Well, what if the people who do remember aren't necessarily the ones that are messing with the timeline? They're just the ones that have that residual, something different about them, or maybe those are the people that are having the deja vu. I don't know. Like I said, my brain goes weird places, and especially because I've had weird experiences. And I even flipped out a timeline and literally wrote, like, how you do in your school books. They have like 1900, this happened, 1910, 1950s, 2000, whatever. And it's in a straight line. I'm like, okay, well, like the one thing where the timeline, like, how do you get from point A to point B? The shortest distance between point A and point B is a straight line, right? But then you have those people who are way smarter than I am in regard to things like that. The guy picks up the piece of paper and he folds it in half, and he goes, okay, well, now point A and point B are touching because we folded it in half. Well, put a timeline on a piece of paper and roll it up like you would around a pencil, and make it into a spiral, and then those timelines, different points would be touching, right? And then, or take it and fold it up in origami, or whatever shape you want, where certain aspects, certain points in time touch other points in time. Maybe those are doorways. Maybe there are places like Sedona where there's supposed to be ley lines and things that are more spiritually connected to the earth and whatnot. I don't know. Again, just kind of throwing out spitballing some theories, some what ifs, because I'm sure that there is someone somewhere that would eventually come across this whenever you do, and you'll think about it and be like, hey, wait, so maybe I plant the seed for theories. I'm sorry, my hand is super shaking. But yeah, I just wanted to share that as well. Is it magic? Is it science? Is it technology? Is it aliens? We don't know. But it's fun to think about. All right, you have a blessed day. I'll talk to you later. Katana's mom saying bye.